This is Republic and you're watching This Is Exclusive with me, Shavinson. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time after that major poll debacle in Andhra Pradesh, former Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Jagan Mohan Reddy, has opened up. But he's lashed out at the TDP, saying that the TDP is indulging in political violence. He says 30 people have been killed in just about 45 days, and the fact that he is now camping here in the national capital. Tonight on This Is Exclusive, for the first time, former Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Jagan Mohan Reddy, talks about his alliance and the fact whether at all he's tilting towards the Congress party. Why else would he be inviting the Congress party in the first place as far as the exhibition here in the national capital is concerned? Also, Akhilesh Yadav shared the stage with Jagan Mohan Reddy. Is this a sign of Jagan Mohan Reddy tilting towards the INDI Bloc? Tonight on This Is Exclusive, that explosive interview with Jagan Mohan Reddy. TDP has now hit back. We've also spoken to Union Minister Chandrasekhar Pemasani. He says Jagan Mohan Reddy is a habitual liar. Show me the proof, says the TDP. Let's take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Jagan Mohan Reddy's charges at TDP accuses Nara Lokesh of inciting political violence in Andhra Pradesh. Jagan Mohan Reddy accuses TDP of going on a political rampage after winning the state assembly polls. Union Minister Chandrasekhar Pemasani of the TDP responds to Jagan's allegations, accuses him of being a habitual liar. The 2008 Malegaon blast case is in its final stages, hearing to begin soon. Colonel Purohit speaks for the first time. Mega face-off between the INDI and BJP. Mamta's refuge to Bangladesh's comment has gone viral. Kavada seeks report. BJP stages protest. Well, this is one of the toughest challenges that former Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Jagan Mohan Reddy, faces. This after the poll debacle. He's now in the national capital. Some say that he has been isolated. The discreet alliance that Jagan Mohan Reddy had with the BJP, did it really not help the YSRCP? And where does he stand today? As he is in the national capital, is he now wooing the INDI leaders? Now, this is his first interview after the poll debacle, but he focuses largely on the violence in the state of Andhra Pradesh. To any question, he says that there is an attempt that has been made by us to try and divert. If at all, he's been asked about his discreet alliance with the BJP, and more importantly, whether at all he is moving or tilting towards the INDI Bloc. Listen in to what YS Jagan Mohan Reddy had to say. Exactly a decade ago, he was a businessman. Out of the blue, his father called him for an election campaigning. And then, of course, from the home pocket bureau of Kadapa, you've had Jagan Mohan Reddy beginning his political innings. But he faces one of the toughest challenges. Jagan Mohan Reddy is joining us on the interview. Thank you very much, Jagan, for joining us. We're speaking at a time when we see a massive political challenge that you face in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Would you blame your discreet alliance with the BJP not really working?
Shavan, let's not deviate from the topic, Shavan. So today the topic is about the plight of Andhra Pradesh and what's happening in Andhra Pradesh. So let's not deviate from this topic and move to another topic, because what it would do is it would dilute the plight in Andhra Pradesh. So let's not deviate.
So you are saying just a short while ago, you've put out an exhibition. What you say is a display of what's really happening in Andhra Pradesh. The claim that you make is in just about 45 days, there have been several killings and mostly targeted towards the YSRCP. The TDP, on the other hand, claims that there are only 4 killings, and that too claimed by the DGP of the state. How do you really respond to that?
They're in government, and somebody from their side says 3 people of theirs were killed, and only the entire killings were only 4. How can anybody be so naive? In fact, I mean, these photographs that are displayed, the video clippings that you see, they themselves are proof. So before you could come to any before you could make any judgmental call, all what I request you is show some empathy. Please have a look at these photographs. Please have a look at these video clippings, and then make a judgmental call for yourself. See, who is in power doesn't make a difference. See, yesterday we were in power, today they are in power, tomorrow we'll come back to power. That is not the issue. But the issue is, when somebody is in power, what are they doing? See, if equitable justice is not imparted, then democracy would limp. This is exactly what is happening in the state of Andhra Pradesh. I mean, you have someone like Nara Lokesh actually come out with a red book, and that red book is blatantly displayed in hoardings all over the state. He holding this red book and making hoardings of it and blatantly displayed all over the state. What kind of a message are you sending? That you're literally sending the message to the entire government machinery and to the police that our people will go on a vandalizing mode, our people would destroy properties, our people would attack people, our people would kill people, yet cops are not supposed to do anything. This is my
They say that you've not put out the list.
This is my red book.
They say that you've not
This
put
is
out
the red
list.
book. Can you imagine somebody actually being a chief minister's son, displaying a red book? In fact, that's a photograph. And making hoardings of it. Literally sending a message to the entire state. And you start off with a red book at your level. And it doesn't end there. Everybody at the village level goes ahead implementing their own red books, which ultimately is translating into this.
Let me also draw a parallel, Jagan, because the reason why I'm asking, the political violence being an issue, not just in the state of Andhra Pradesh, we've seen similar cases happening in the state of West Bengal. BJP makes a similar claim. Trinamool Congress says that this is not political violence; it's personal rivalry. TDP today says 2,800 of their workers were killed during your term. How do you really respond? Because there is no clarity really coming in from both the parties on this.
Please, do not make wild allegations.
No, I'm saying it is a claim.
And divert this topic, what is actually happening in Andhra Pradesh. See, our regime, it was such a good regime that every scheme, even if people did not vote for us, was door delivered. Without discrimination and without corruption, without even seeing which party they have voted. That was our government. And here you have this government, just because somebody is not voted for them, are going on a rampage, destroying properties.
So you're saying not killing
beating them up,
CP workers, but
beating them up, killing people. Every YSR sympathizers, YSR voters, YSR. See, you start off at the top level, and there is no control on law and order. See, you start off with you publicizing these hoardings with a red book, and you start off with this kind of a campaign, and there is no end to it. There is lawlessness everywhere. So every village, every mandal, people have their own. They have their own red books to implement. See, this is one case. This person who is feeding the cake, and this is MLA's wife. This is the person, he's feeding the cake to an MLA's wife. And this person, in broad daylight, literally hacked people, literally hacked the person to death. Literally hacked the person to death in broad daylight. 7:30 or so in the evening, you have video clippings also being displayed right in this arena itself. In fact, in this book that I would be giving it to you for a takeout, in fact, this also would display this ghastly incident. This person killed this person in this manner. And cases, you know what cases are booked? You only limit this case only to this person. What about this? What about this? This is the MLA. This is the person.
So you do have an option, Jagan, at this point in time, because there has to be a purpose. You came to the national capital hoping that there would be some sort of a support, drawing attention towards the current situation in Andhra Pradesh. A short while back, you've had Akhilesh Yadav visiting. Now that comes across as a surprise to someone because you've always been seen closer to the BJP. How do you really want to take this forward? Are you looking at support coming across from the opposition parties?
Shravan, we have invited everybody. We have invited even the Congress, we have invited even the BJP. We have invited every party to please come, have a look at what has happened in Andhra Pradesh state. These are not what, I'm not talking something from the air. I'm displaying photographs. I'm displaying video clippings. Please show some empathy. I mean, it is the duty of you. I request the media. I request the politicians. I request the leaders of every party. This is not a party issue. So today they are in power. Tomorrow we would be in power. Yesterday we were in power. But this is not how one does politics. If this were to be encouraged, if this were to be diverted, if this were to be not given the attention that it deserves, then mark my word, democracy would always be limping. This is the reality of what is happening in the state. So my humble request is, you see for yourself and then make up your mind whether to support the cause or not.
Are you hoping that the Union Home Minister and the Prime Minister would be intervening in this entire issue? Because at the end of the day, let's be honest, Jagan, you do share a good equation with the Home Minister as well as the Prime Minister. Are you hoping that despite being in alliance with the TDP, the BJP would take cognizance of what's happening in the state of Andhra Pradesh?
We have asked for ultimately, Shravan, we have asked for appointment with Honorable Prime Minister. We'd also asked for an appointment from the Honorable Home Minister. We've also asked for an appointment even from the President of this country. Now, whether they will give the appointment, whether they will not give the appointment, of course, is not in my hands. But all what I can do is request them. And that is what I've done. Not only them, I've requested all the parties to please come forward, see what is happening in the state of Andhra Pradesh for yourself. See the video clippings, see the photographs, and then you take a call whether they should be encouraged or whether they should be discouraged. This is all what I'm asking. I'm asking everybody. People, some of them might want to come, some of them might not want to come. But there is very little what I can do to prevail over them.
You'll be hoping that cutting across party lines you get the support, even if it happens to be the opposition parties, and also not forgetting the kind of animosity that you've had towards the Congress party. You are okay with if the Congress comes and supports you?
See, it's got nothing to do with any personal animosity towards any single individual or any single party. This is much beyond that. This is an issue which can happen to anybody, which should not be accepted in democracy. So cutting across the parties, we have made requests to every party to please come, pay a visit, see for yourself, understand the situation, and if you deem it fit, condemn it.
These images that you have put out, the message that you're essentially also trying to send across is the fact that political violence has reached the zenith. and the fact that you would expect someone to come and intervene. Do you believe that the politics in Andhra Pradesh has become extremely bitter, starting from the time when Chandrababu Naidu was jailed to now the kind of political violence that is taking place? Is it a tit for tat?
So there is no tit for tat, Shravan. We have not done anything. That's the most important thing. In fact, in our regime, people who not voted for us also were door delivered. Every scheme was door delivered to them in the most transparent way, without discrimination, without corruption. There's a Grama Sachivalayam for every 2,000 houses established in every village. There's a volunteer for every 60, 70 houses doing the door delivery without discrimination, without corruption. That is what we had propagated, that is what we had done. In our regime, we have never promoted such kind of things. Things would have been different.
So you say this is political vendetta?
This is absurdness. This is stupidity and madness. Can you believe somebody showing a red book and writing Shravan's name in that red book and actually making a hoarding of that red book and making a poster of it and then fixing it all over the city capital in which Shravan's name is printed, and then vandalizing Shravan's house and assaulting Shravan? What kind of world are we living in?
You did the same when you were in power. They said that 2,800 of their
Shravan,
people
nobody
were killed.
does these kind of stupid things, Shravan. This is going.
I think you did not give a list.
Shravan, please, you need to come. Even just for asking something, please do not, twist these facts, because nobody does these kind of stupid things. And my only humble request is, please make sure that you see for yourself, make a judgmental call, and condemn such incidents, because such incidents are not healthy for democracy.
Well, thank you very. In fact, Jagan Mohan Reddy refuses to answer the question that whether at all 2,800 TDP workers were killed during his regime. Now, that's an allegation that the TDP has also leveled. Once again, a question was also posed to the TDP on this entire matter, because this has also taken a national scale, a national issue that it's becoming in the parliament. Listen to what Union Minister Chandrasekhar Pevasani had to say, responding to the allegations that have been leveled by Jagan Mohan Reddy. Former Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Jagan Mohan Reddy, has leveled sensational allegations against Chandrababu Naidu's government. Joining us on this broadcast is Union Minister Chandrasekhar Pevasani. Mr. Pevasani, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. Jagan Mohan Reddy, in his first interview to Republic TV, says that political violence in Andhra Pradesh is at its peak. 300 murdered. He says there is visual evidence and no action is being taken by your government in Andhra Pradesh.
See, first of all, Jagan Mohan Reddy is known for fake propaganda and false information. The way he does it is, what we ask is, he said 30 people have been killed. Let him give the names of those 30 people and where those murders have happened. As far as I know, there are only 5 things that happened, 5 killings, and there were 2 that were related to YCP, and there are 3 that were related to killings of TDP people. And you might ask, when TDP is in power, how those 3 people got killed? This is what happens. In some of these villages, there is so much personal rivalry, and if they did not get the majority of what they anticipated, they go and attack the opposite people. So this has been going on for a long time. Every time the government changes, typically for the first 1 to 2 months, few killings would happen, like 3 to 5. That happens to both parties. But what he was saying, the proportionality, 30 killings has not happened as far as we know. And this is the typical drama that Jagan Mohan Reddy does, because he lost so miserably with 11 seats. He could not go to the assembly in Andhra Pradesh, could not show his face to the people. So he came here to create drama.
He says that there is visual evidence. An exhibition has been laid out here in the national capital for everyone to witness. Images of broad daylight killing, people being hacked to death, Are you saying that this visual evidence is also fake in nature, and perhaps some would also accuse you of justifying the killings that are taking place in the state of Andhra Pradesh?
No. Nobody justifies killings of anybody, right? We regret whatever, whether it is YCP candidates or TDP candidates, we regret for those kind of things. But if you look at it, Chandrababu Naidu sir, this is the 4th time he has become a chief minister. We have, killing, atrocities, violence is not in TDP DNA. It is not the TDP Chandrababu Naidu sir DNA. He is a statesman. The killings, atrocities, all those is the DNA of Jagan Mohan Reddy. He has been there for 5 years as a chief minister, and he killed almost 2,800 people by his party workers.
Mr. Pemasani, are you then suggesting, if at all evidence is provided by Jagan Mohan Reddy, your government will act on it?
Absolutely. Absolutely will act on it.
But the fact here is that you are saying that evidence has to be provided, only then some action would be taken. On the other hand, you've had the YSRCP indicating that we have provided the visual evidence. It is abundantly clear that killings have taken place. Then why is it that the state DGP, as they claim, is lying?
See, the killings, as I said, were not 30. There were 5 killings happened, and all those cases were registered for those 5 killings. And this has happened for 2 of those were related to killings of YCP people, and 3 of them actually belongs to killing of the TDP people by YCP cadre.
Okay.
But wherever there was an evidence, the cases have been filed.
Jagan Mohan Reddy has categorically taken on Nara Lokesh. He says that the killings are taking place because there is a red book that is being flashed, which is an indication of the fact that the authorities have given the stamp, TDP workers have been given the green signal by none other than Nara Lokesh.
See, Red Book has nothing to do with this killing. These killings at the villages level due to personal issues that has been going on for years. See, the Red Book was initially came into the picture because when YSRCP was in government, they did not allow either Chandrababu Naidu sir or Lokesh sir to do their public meetings or padayatras, and the government officials and machinery was used to put cases on our TDP workers. So to give confidence, Lokesh sir came up with this Red Book. Whoever or whichever official are involved in these unethical activities, they will be taken to the court.
Right.
So this is just to remember their names. But it has nothing to do with the killings, and it has nothing to do with the party cadre. It is strictly related to the government officials who are supposed to act according to the law, but did not.
Okay.
And none of these killings or what you are suggesting or what he has been suggesting has to do with the officials.
Let me now shift gears and also take you on with regards to the responses that have really come in after the budget was tabled by the Union Finance Minister. Some have also said that when Jagan Mohan Reddy was in power, no such announcements were made. So typically, it appears that this is a budget to try and keep the TDP happy.
See, the TDP formed alliance with the NDA 2 months before the elections. Nobody expected this kind of post-election scenario at that time, because we wanted to support NDA government based on what Modi ji government has done over the last 10 years to this country. So we categorically decided on that, and the measures that they have given to our Andhra Pradesh in the budget are more or less same as what has been promised 10 years back in the Reorganization Act. So none of these are new for us, either Amaravati capital or Polavaram project. These are not new. I mean, these were supposed to be done 10 years back. And actually, justice was delayed for Andhra Pradesh until this time. And now Modi ji government has delivered what was supposed to be done.
I also want to ask you with regards to the developments that took place in the national capital earlier in the day with Akhilesh Yadav sharing the stage with Jagan Mohan Reddy. Does your party essentially believe that with a failed discreet alliance with the BJP. Perhaps Jagan Mohan Reddy is now tilting towards the Congress, because in an interview to me, he says that he does not have any animosity towards the Congress party.
See, I cannot comment on their friendship or their relationship at this time. But what I tell Akhilesh ji is to actually go to the Andhra Pradesh if he has couple days of time. Talk to the people in the ground and understand the realities, and don't believe Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy's fake promises.
Well, thank you very much, Chandrasekhar Pemasani, for joining us on This Is Exclusive.
Thank you.
Well, that's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. We'll be back tomorrow with more exclusive stories only for you.
Director Cheadle, your opening statement indicates that the Secret Service constructed a security plan for the site in Pennsylvania. I'm assuming that security plan would also include the security footprint for the site, but it also would be based upon a threat assessment for the threats associated with Donald Trump and the crowd in attendance. Would it not include a threat assessment?
Yes, it would.
So that threat assessment, as we know, basically would have started with, there's a generalized threat against Donald Trump because he is a presidential candidate. Then it would have gone to, he's a former president, and he gets security coverage just as Bush, Clinton, Carter, and Obama do. And then you also have the heightened political environment. Even for those, it's clear that the security footprint, that the threat assessment was insufficient, which permitted then a 20-year-old to actually enter with a weapon and shoot Donald Trump. But I want to ask you about two other aspects of the threat assessment. It is known and public that Iran is a threat risk for Donald Trump. They're a threat risk for John Bolton, former Secretary of State Pompeo, and Donald Trump, because they have indicated they want to assassinate them as a result of retaliation for the killing of Soleimani. That is both, for Iran, a generalized threat. They're targeting these individuals, but also most recently, a specific threat to Donald Trump himself. Now, I want to enter into the record by UC a Department of Justice Public Affairs release, a CNN article, an article from Fox News, and an article from CBS, all of which acknowledge
without objection to order
that this threat exists for Donald Trump from Iran, and that there are specific threats, most recently, that have been acknowledged. Director Cheadle, have you read the intelligence of the generalized threat to Donald Trump by Iran as a result of their desire to retaliate for the killing of Soleimani?
I have.
Have you read or been briefed about the intelligence of the specific recent threat to Donald Trump from Iran?
Yes, I have.
Director Wray, when we were getting our briefing, indicated that he thought the threat assessment should have included this threat from Iran. Is it your testimony today that the threat assessment, since you've read this intelligence, was sufficient to protect him from this threat from Iran?
My testimony today is that the information that we had at the time was known. Was
it sufficient? Director Cheadle, was it sufficient for the Iranian threat that you said you have read the intelligence briefings for?
That information was passed to...
Well, I'm not asking the bureaucratic issue of who did it get passed around to. Director Cheadle, was it sufficient for the specific and generalized threat to Donald Trump's life from Iran?
Yes, I do believe it was.
Director Cheadle, is an Iranian assassin more capable than a 20-year-old?
Sir, I think we've acknowledged that there was gaps and a failure that day.
When I raised this issue with Director Wray, he was incensed. He was shocked that the threat assessment of Iran did not seem to be, as we and I discussed, baked in to your security footprint and your threat assessment. And he went on to say that the generalized threat that he has told the whole country that we are under from a potential terrorist threat. He has said we're under the highest threat level since 9/11, that the lights are flashing red. And he has specifically indicated that people have crossed the southern border as a result of the Biden administration's policy, and that there are in our country today terrorists and individuals who are affiliated with terrorist groups and organizations. That would be a heightened threat environment, Director Cheadle, would it not?
Yes.
In his public statements, he has said he is making these statements because he wants people to take them into consideration in threat assessments, specifically. Now, that would be a threat not just to Donald Trump, but it would also be a threat to the crowd there, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Are ISIS terrorists and al-Qaeda terrorists and international groups and terrorists more capable than a 20-year-old in pulling off either a mass shooting or an assassination of Donald Trump?
Sir, again, there was clearly a breakdown and a failure that day.
Have you read the intelligence of the terrorists that are currently in the United States that Director Wray speaks, and those individuals that are here that are affiliated with terrorist groups and organizations that are in the process, as Director Wray said, of representing a significant threat of a terrorist attack occurring in the United States?
I have read reports that apply specifically to the Secret Service's mission.
Director Cheadle, because Donald Trump is alive, and thank God he is, you look incompetent. If Donald Trump had been killed, you would have looked culpable. There is no aspect of this that indicates that there has been any protection to Donald Trump. The threat was identified before he took the stage, and the shooter was only killed after Donald Trump himself was killed. Not only should you resign, if you refuse to do so, President Biden needs to fire you, because his life, Donald Trump's life, and all the other people which you protect are at risk because you have no concept of the aspect that the security footprint needs to be correlated to the threat. I yield back.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released Education World Rankings. A testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked standards in education.
Hotel Management with AI. Join International Institute of Hotel Management.
INDI stages protest, resorts to sloganeering and ruckus over Modi 3.0's first budget. Big development in Malegaon blast investigation. Special NIA court begins. Final hearing. Face off over Mamata's refuge to Bangladeshi's comment. Governor seeks report. BJP stages protest in Kolkata. Amid massive showdown over NEET scam, Bihar Assembly passes anti-paper leak bill. 26-year-old UPSC aspirant electrocuted to death in national capital. Who's accountable? Plane crashes during takeoff in Kathmandu, Nepal. Media reports suggest 18 bodies recovered, pilot rescued. Well, let's begin this live and breaking with a big lead coming in connection with the Pune hit-and-run case. Crime branch in Pune has recorded the statement of NCP MLA Sunil Tingre for 5.5 hours. His statement was recorded in the last week of June by the crime branch. In fact, this information coming out now, and Tingre was questioned over his presence in the police station after the hit-and-run case happened in that month itself. The Pune double murder probe now. NCP MLA Sunil Tingre of the Ajit Pawar faction has been quizzed for 5.5 hours by the crime branch, is the information we are getting. Let's try and connect with our reporter on the ground. I'm told Satya Prakash is joining us live. Satya Prakash, over to you. Okay, we're trying and connecting with Satya Prakash. He's going to join us live from Mumbai. He's someone who has tracked the case closely. He has been reporting from the ground in Pune. And this information coming in now, let's try to find out why the information is coming in now, given the fact that Sunil Tingre's role was very visible. He was seen at the police station. He had visited the police station. in the morning, the day after the incident or the accident in which those two precious lives were lost, which subsequently turned into a murder probe. Okay, we are not able to connect with Satya Prakash, so we move on. All right, another story we are closely tracking for you, friends, is special court in Mumbai is beginning to hear the final arguments in the Malegaon 2008 Malegaon blast case. Almost 16 years after the incident, the last witness in the case was brought in by Lieutenant Colonel Prasad Purohit and accused in the case on Tuesday. Lieutenant Colonel Prasad Purohit had filed an application seeking the recall of a witness, an army officer who had been brought in as a defense witness earlier. However, Purohit insisted on recalling the same witness for the purpose of showing some exhibited documents, and in an exclusive, the Republic spoke to Lieutenant Colonel Purohit's lawyer. Listen in to what he had to say in this conversation.
Commence the final argument soon. I can't really comment on any other part.
All the accused have been directed to be present before the court.
In some days, yes, the court has directed the accused has to remain present in every fortnight. The rest all, I can't comment on any other part. Whatever the court has stated will come on the court website. So you can check on from that. I can't really comment.
The case is in the Supreme
Court will commence the final argument soon. I can't really comment on any other part.
All the accused have been directed to be present before the court.
In some days, yes, the court has directed the accused has to remain present in every fortnight. The rest all, I can't comment on any other part.
Okay, the lawyer there not commenting, but the case finally reaching the final arguments stage. Remember, it took 16 years and the fight of Lieutenant Colonel Prasad Purohit to prove that he was framed and fixed continues, but he's persisting, and he even sought a recall of a defense witness to cross-check some facts.
In Jammu has arrested two operatives of Hizbul Mujahideen for narco-terror financing. Both have been identified as Fayaz Dar and Arshad Ahmed and are now being interrogated for actively helping the terrorists from the money minted from the narco sale. We'll be continuing with this rolling coverage right after this short break on Republic TV.
Good morning. Today's hearing is for the American people who are seeking answers about the attempted assassination of President Trump. A little over a week ago, Americans watched in horror as a shooter attempted to assassinate President Donald J. Trump at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The gunman nearly succeeded. The bullet that struck President Trump's head was less than an inch from taking his life. President Trump survived, but one rallygoer, Corey Comparator, tragically did not. Two others were seriously injured. It was a horrifying moment in American history. The horror was exceeded only by the bravery of the law enforcement agents who threw themselves in harm's way when shots were fired. The bravery of a crowd unwavering in its refusal to panic, and the bravery of a bloody President Trump refusing to run. While we give overwhelming thanks to the individual Secret Service agents who did their jobs under immense pressure, this tragedy was preventable. The Secret Service's protective mission is to protect U.S. and visiting world leaders and safeguard U.S. elections through protection of candidates and nominees. The Secret Service has a zero-fail mission, but it failed on July 13th and in the days leading up to the rally. The Secret Service has thousands of employees and a significant budget, but it has now become the face of incompetence. The committee has a long track record of providing oversight of the Secret Service. Our predecessors, both Jason Chaffetz and Elijah Cummings, among others, worked together to issue warnings and recommendations to address obvious shortcomings in the agency's makeup and operations. Unfortunately, those warnings and recommendations have gone unheeded. A former president and current candidate for president was shot in the head by a sniper within 500 feet of the podium. This is unacceptable, and we are concerned the Secret Service lacks the proper management to keep protectees safe from bad actors. Americans demand answers, but they have not been getting them from the Secret Service. We are instead learning about new facts about the events surrounding the attempted assassination every day from whistleblowers and leaks. Americans demand accountability, but no one is yet to be fired for this historic failure. Today's witness, Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle, is here under subpoena to answer questions about how the agency failed President Trump and the victims who attended the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. It is my firm belief, Director Cheadle, that you should resign. However, in complete defiance, Director Cheadle has maintained she will not tender her resignation. Therefore, she will answer questions today from members of this committee seeking to provide clarity to the American people about how these events were allowed to transpire. We will ask these questions because the Secret Service and its parent agency, the Department of Homeland Security, have been unwilling to provide answers to the American people. DHS has sought to push this hearing to a different time. Secret Service has suggested the hearing occur without media presence, and both agencies have provided only shallow explanations to Congress about what happened on July 13th. Indeed, DHS and Secret Service's lack of communication with the Oversight Committee required me to issue a subpoena compelling Director Cheadle to attend today, and still DHS requested more time to prepare. It shouldn't take this much time or preparation, Director Cheadle, to tell the truth and to be transparent with the American people. I am thankful to the ranking member, Mr. Raskin, for joining me in insisting that Director Cheadle appear today. God knows the ranking member and I disagree on many things, but that does not matter today. The safety of Secret Service protectees is not based on their political affiliation, and the bottom line is that under Director Cheadle's leadership, we question whether anyone is safe. Not President Biden, not the First Lady, not the White House, and certainly not the presidential candidates. The July 13th assassination attempt is one of the darkest days in American political history. It represents the ugliest parts of what American politics has become: hatred of each other and a dangerous turn to extremism. Before we are Republicans or Democrats, we are Americans. If we place our political affiliations above our duty and love of country, we cannot maintain a country. We must ensure our republic is strong, and our republic cannot be strong when our leadership, our elections, our institutions, and our candidates are threatened by extremism and violence. Today, Director Cheadle will answer questions about why she deserves to continue to play a critical role in preserving this country's safety and, at the very least, what led to the catastrophic, deadly events on July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania. Again, I do not believe Director Cheadle deserves to maintain her position as head of the Secret Service, but members of the American people will make their own decisions based on her answers today. I urge Director Cheadle to be transparent and forthcoming in her testimony today. Americans deserve no less. We have a duty to find out how this happened. And
welcome back, friends. Today, Nepal is reeling from a heartbreaking tragedy that has claimed 18 lives in a devastating plane crash at the Tribhuvan International Airport in Kathmandu. At 11 past 11 a.m., a Pokhara-bound flight tragically ended in flames shortly after takeoff, leaving behind a scene of profound loss and sorrow. Here's what happened.
Nepal is in mourning after the tragic loss of 18 lives that were claimed in a devastating plane crash at Tribhuvan International Airport in Kathmandu. At 11:11 a.m., a Pokhara-bound flight tragically crashed shortly after takeoff, engulfing the aircraft in flames and leaving only the pilot, Captain Shakya, as a survivor. Eyewitnesses captured chilling footage of the aircraft losing control and crashing to the ground in a fiery spectacle. Rescue teams quickly mobilized to the scene, encountering a haunting sight of charred wreckage strewn across the crash site. Despite the devastation, Captain Shakya was promptly transported to a nearby hospital for urgent medical care. According to aviation experts, several factors could have potentially contributed to the crash. The challenges posed by tabletop runways, unpredictable crosswinds, and the risk of engine failure. Additionally, overloading of the aircraft can also be a critical factor leading to an accident like this. An inquiry is underway into the deadly crash. The probe teams will analyze the black box to determine the reason.
मैं बहुत सम्मान देना चाहता हूं हमारे सारे कारगिल के युद्ध के वीरों को, उनके परिवारों को। आपकी वजह से हम सुरक्षित हैं, आपकी वजह से हम धन्य हैं। थैंक यू सो मच। आपको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं, बहुत बहुत प्रार्थनाएं। जय हिंद।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released Education World Rankings. A testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked standards in education.
Affirm that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
The Secret Service's solemn mission is to protect our nation's leaders. On July 13th, we failed. As a director of the United States Secret Service, I take full responsibility for any security lapse of our agency. We are fully cooperating with ongoing investigations. We must learn what happened, and I will move heaven and earth to ensure that an incident like July 13th does not happen again of the Secret Service in decades, and I am keeping him and his family in my thoughts. Let me state unequivocally, nothing I have said should be interpreted to place blame for this failure on our federal, state, or local law enforcement partners who supported the Secret Service in Butler. We could not do our job without them. We rely on the relationships built over years of working together to secure events and conduct investigations. Our agents, officers, and support personnel understand that every day we are expected to sacrifice our lives to execute a no-fail mission. Since January 1st, 2024, the Secret Service has successfully secured over 7,500. As witnessed on July 13th, our special agents shielded former President Trump with their own bodies on stage while shots were being fired. Selflessly willing to make the ultimate sacrifice without hesitation, I am proud beyond words of the actions taken by the former president's detail, the counter-sniper team who neutralized the gunman, and the tactical team who was prepared to act. I will be transparent as possible when I speak with you, understanding, though, at times that I may be limited in providing a thorough response in this open setting due to associated risks with sharing highly sensitive protective methodologies. I do not want to inadvertently provide you today with inaccurate information. One set of challenges and requires a customized mitigation strategy, including specific assets. The comprehensive advance process involves collaborative planning between our Secret Service, the protectees staff, local law enforcement partners, and the level of security provided for the former